The opening words, I'm going to read you something called Apart But Together by Cynthia Landrum. Spirit of life and love, we gather together in different ways this morning. From computer screens, from telephones, we gather, reaching out across the wires, waving from a safe distance. To come together in community, from living room to front porch to car seat. We gather as we are able, ready to be of service to each other and to the world, ready to build the community of hope and love. As we face this bright morning, we are apart, but we are together, offering our love, our commitment, our hope, and our prayers in service to one another and this world. It is a new way, but an old way, that we come together in worship today. Okay, you'll have to excuse my not so attractive chalice here. Now it's time to light the chalice, which is the symbol of our faith. And there it is. Across the distance, the light from within me shines, sending love to all. Across the distance, your light is fuel that warms me and helps me keep my own light burning. Together, we keep the flame of community burning bright. And a short affirmation. These words are by Elizabeth Lerner Maclay. As drops of rain that find each other and build to become a track, a rivulet, a stream, a river, a sea, so are we drawn together. So are we fortunate to find one another. So are we bound together on this shared passage toward an unknown ocean and eternity. Okay, we're going to do our reflection meditation next. The way I'm doing it today is I will be reading you something by Gwen Matthews that is kind of a meditation itself. So if you would all get comfortable, get in a position where you're alert but comfortable, not squirming around, and sort of try to come into yourself, get centered, maybe take a deep breath and then exhale. Okay, this is called Feel That. Feel that each breath, every inhale, exhale, we are living, breathing, connected. We are the whole, complete, beautiful selves that we were born to be. Feel that in your bones, in your muscles, in your heart and your blood. That is the extraordinary you. The you who was born for this time, this place, this moment. Feel that, the struggle, the worry, the pain, the loss, the grief. It is still you. You are still whole, complete, beautiful, extraordinary. Feel that. Uh, Now is the time when we usually would have a talk or a sermon, but today we're having a poetry service. This is something that Mike Steger, who's not with us today, but that he started a number of years ago. He always had one once a year, and it's been a couple of years since we've had one, so I thought it was a good time to do this. I've asked people to bring poems to read that are either in some way joyful or inspiring or hopeful, because I think we need those right now, but also anything that has to do with our 7 principles, which could be like the interconnectedness of life or social justice or, any of those things. I was going to start, but since you've been hearing me a lot, is there I know that there's a number of people who have told me they want to read, and you can also, of course, at any time, let us know if you want to. But Emily, would you mind starting?
All right, I'll do this and get this done. One of my favorite all-time poems, and anybody who's heard the Poetry Sundries knows that I've read this before, but here we go. This is something called Abu Ben Adhem by James Henry Lee Hunt, and it goes like this. Abu Ben Adhem, may his tribe increase, awoke one night from a deep dream of peace, and saw within the moonlight in his room, making it rich like a lily in bloom, an angel writing in a book of gold. Exceeding peace had made Ben Adhem bold, and to the presence in the room he said, "What writest thou?" The vision raised its head, and with a look made of all sweet accord, answered the names of those who love the Lord. "And is mine one?" said Abu. "Nay, not so," replied the angel. Abu spoke more low, but cheerily still, and said, "I pray thee then, write me as one that loves his fellow men." The angel wrote, then vanished. The next night it came again with great wakening light, and showed the names whom a love of God had blessed. And lo, Ben Adhem's name led all the rest.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Emily. Jean, would you like to go next? I know you had something you wanted to read. Jean?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
It's actually short, but and I found it related to the 7th principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. This poem is by A.E. Stallings. It's called The Barnacle. The barnacle is rather odd. It's not related to the clam or limpet. It's an arthropod, though one that doesn't give a damn. Cousin to the crab and shrimp, when larval, it can twitch and swim and make decisions, tiny imp that flits according to its whim. Once grown with nothing more to prove, it hunkers down and will remain stuck fast. And once it does not move, has no more purpose for a brain. Its one boast is it will not budge, cemented where it chanced to sink, sclerotic, stubborn as a grudge, settled, it does not need to think.
Thank you. That was fun. It also makes me think of other things besides barnacles, but it's a beautiful poem about barnacles. I'm going to do one now, and then I'll call on some more people. This one is called Slant, and it's by Suji Kwok Kim, which is well, you always want to know who wrote it, but also because the slant of the title refers to eyes, and so she is, writing about herself and her people. This is not someone else denigrating them. If the angle of an eye is all, the slant of hope, the slant of dreaming, according to each life, what is the light of this city? Light of Lady Liberty, possessor of the most famous armpit in the world. Light of the lovers on Chinese soap operas, throwing barbecued ducks at each other with that live it up while you're young, woo me kind of love. Light of the old men sitting on crates outside gewgaw shops, selling dried seahorses and plastic temples of heaven. Light of the yin and yang junk palace. Light of the Golden Phoenix hair salon. Light of wig-o-ramas. Light of the suntanners in Central Park, turning over like rotisserie chicken, sizzling on a spit. Light of the pluck you and Gone with the Wings fried chicken shops. The parking meter leaners, the glamazons, the oglers wearing fern-wilting quantities of cologne, strutting, trash-talking, glorious. The immigrants, the refugees, the peddlers, stockbrokers and janitors, stenographers and cooks, all of us making and unmaking ourselves, hurrying forwards toward who will become, one way only, one life only, free in time, but not from it. Here in the city the living make together and make and unmake over and over. Quick, quick, ask heaven of it, of every mortal relation, feeling that is fleeing. For what would the heart be without a heaven to set it on? I can't help thinking no word will ever be as full of life as this world. I can't help thinking of thanks. All right, let's see. I think, Trish, did you want to read? Unmute.
Good plan. I have two, but I'll read the short one. Mary Oliver, what would a poetry reading be without Mary Oliver?
Yes.
The Gift. Be still, my soul, and steadfast. Earth and heaven both are still watching, though time is draining from the clock, and your walk that was confident and quick has become slow. So be slow if you must, but let the heart still play its true part. Love still as once you loved, deeply and without patience. Let God and the world know you are grateful that the gift has been given.
Thank you, Trish. Trudy wants to read one. Go ahead, Trudy. Unmute, Trudy.
Yeah. I didn't know if you could see a book, but it's a little book that my son gave me in 1998, and I had helped him and his family with something, and he gave me this little book, and he wrote it, "May we find shelter under the high arches." And the little book is called "The Glories of Nature Forests in Words and Photographs." This one is called "My Cathedral" by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Like two cathedral towers, those stately pines uplift their fretted summits tipped with cones. The arch beneath them is not built with stones. Not art, but nature traced those lovely lines, and carve this graceful arabesque of vines. No organ, but the wind here sighs and moans. No sepulchre conceals a martyr's bones. No marble bishop on his tomb reclines. Enter. The pavement, carpeted with leaves, gives back a softened echo to thy tread. Listen, the choir is singing. All the birds in leafy galleries beneath the eaves are singing. Listen, ere the sound be fled, and learn there may be worship without words.
Thank you, Trudy. I like that people, you and Jean specifically, but that are reading some things about nature, because I find that really inspiring, and it certainly goes with our interconnected web of life principle. Does anyone else want to read? Ken, yes, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I can't honestly pronounce the name of the person who wrote this poem, but I'll try, and you might recognize it. Sahajana da Bhairava. Anyone recognize the name that can say it right? No, okay. Great fire of the heart. Indescribable joy at the heart of the real. Everything becomes free in the present moment. Nothing to do or avoid. Movement and stillness are luminous consciousness, free from seeking and from practice. The essence of the heart inundates your whole being. Your cosmic body is manifested in totality. The cosmos tremors within your own dwelling place. The honey of this realization flows in every glitter of light. Neither matter nor people are deprived of it. The sun, moon, the rocks and the trees, the sky and the earth. The body and the mind do nothing but proclaim his heart vibrating to infinity.
Wow, that was great. Thank you. Does anyone else have something? Leslie.
Hi. So mine is from Khalil Gibran, and it has to do with the inherent worth and dignity of all, as it refers to children, young people. It reads, "And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, 'Speak to us of children.' And he said, 'Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls. For their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable."
Thank you. Beautiful, lovely. Do we have anyone else who wants to read? Des, go ahead.
This is called Making Good by Robert William Service. No man can be a failure if he thinks he's a success. He may not own his roof tree overhead. He may be on his uppers and have hocked his evening dress, financially speaking, in the red. He may have chronic shortage to repay the old home mortgage and almost be a bankrupt in his biz. But though he skips his dinner and each day he's growing thinner, if he thinks he is a winner, then he is. But when I say success, I mean the sublimated kind. A man may gain it, yet beyond the dole. To me, it's music of the heart and sunshine of the mind, serenity and sweetness of the soul. You may not have a brace of bucks to jingle in your jeans, far less the dough to buy a motor car. But though the row you're hoeing may be grim, ungodly going, if you think the skies are glowing, then they are. For a poor man may be wealthy and a millionaire may fail. It all depends upon the point of view. It's the sterling of your spirit tips the balance of the scale. It's optimism and it's up to you. For what I figure as success is simple happiness, the consummate contentment of your mood. You may toil with brain and sinew, and though little wealth is win you, if there's health and hope within you, you've made good.
Thank you. I haven't heard Robert Service in ages. It's nice to hear. He's sort of old-fashioned, but I like, he has very good sentiments, and it's nice to hear one of his poems. Is anyone else? Trisha, did you want to maybe read the other second poem you had? You're muted.
No, I think it's too depressing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think I'll read another one then. This is, because we have time, lots of time. This one is fairly long. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, I have too many sitting here. Okay, this one is by Joy Harjo. She was the National Poet Laureate a couple of years ago, and she is a Cherokee, and most of her poetry speaks of that. And so this one is, you'll see it's for everyone, but you'll see that the references to Native American beliefs. It's called "For Calling the Spirit Back from Wandering the Earth in Its Human Feet." Put down that bag of potato chips, that white bread, that bottle of pop. Turn off that cell phone, computer, and remote control. Open the door, then close it behind you. Take a breath offered by friendly winds. They travel the earth, gathering essences of plants to clean. Give it back with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars' ears and back. Acknowledge this earth who has cared for you since you were a dream, planting itself precisely within your parents' desire. Let your moccasin feet take you to the encampment of the guardians who have known you before time, who will be there after time. They sit before the fire that has been there without time. Let the earth stabilize your post-colonial insecure jitters. Be respectful of the small insects, birds, and animals, people who accompany you. Ask their forgiveness for the harm we humans have brought down upon them. Don't worry. The heart knows the way through, though there may be high rises, interstates, checkpoints, armed soldiers, massacres, wars, and those who will despise you because they despise themselves. The journey might take you a few hours, a day, a year, a few years, 100, 1,000, or even more. Watch your mind. Without training, it might run away and leave your heart for the immense human feast set by the thieves of time. Do not hold regrets. When you find your way to the circle, to the fire kept burning by the keepers of your soul, you will be welcomed. You must clean yourself with cedar, sage, or other healing plant. Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Let go the pain you're holding in your mind, your shoulders, your heart, all the way to your feet. Let go the pain of your ancestors to make way for those who are heading in our direction. Ask for forgiveness. Call upon the help of those who love you. These helpers take many forms: animal, element, bird, angel, saint, stone, or ancestor. Call your spirit back. It may be caught in corners and creases of shame, judgment, and human abuse. You must call in a way that your spirit will want to return. Speak to it as you would to a beloved child. Welcome your spirit back from wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it is bathed and given clean clothes. Now you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and supports you. Keep room for those who have no place else to go. Make a giveaway, and remember, keep the speeches short. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark. Thank you.
Sarah, who was that?
Joy Harjo. She's written a lot of beautiful things, some of which are much longer than that, but and pretty much all of her poetry combines her Native American background and beliefs with the rest of the world. You know, they aren't like, oh, I'm sitting here on a reservation isolated. She's, sort of a half reservation, half city type person. She writes beautiful poetry. Okay, I'll just ask another time. Yes, Judy.
This is very, very short. Wait a minute here. Some of you may be familiar with the poet Langston Hughes. He, as a young person, moved to New York, specifically to Harlem, and has written some very moving and challenging poetry. This one is called, wait a minute now, I had it. What happens to a dream deferred? Oh, now I phone. I'm sorry, I have to find it again.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it ties in with what you read, Des, in some sense, although that's not where Hughes is coming from, and perhaps the 20s, 30s in Harlem in New York. Like what happens when dreams don't turn out, but there are dreams and dreams. So what happens to a dream deferred, Hughes asks? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? That's where that title comes from, a raisin in the sun. Or fester like a sore and run? Does it stink like rotten meat? or crust and sugar over like it's sweet. Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode?
Thank you. I'm glad someone read something by him. I had one I could read, but it's very long, so I think I'll skip it. However, let me just tell you the title. I'm sorry, I've got so many. Let America Be America Again, which he wrote, back like in the 30s, and is so relevant. I mean, has been all along and is still very relevant today.
There's still time.
Yeah, there is. I could, if people don't mind listening to another long poem.
Worth hearing.
Okay. Yeah, this is a very strong topical poem. Okay, Langston Hughes, Let America Be America Again. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great, strong land of love, where never kings connive, nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in the homeland of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery's scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own good. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker sold to the machine. I am the Negro, servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean, hungry yet today, despite the dream, beaten yet today. Oh, pioneers, I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings. In every brick and stone, in every furrow turned, that's made America the land it has become. Oh, I'm the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home. For I'm the one who left dark Ireland's shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lea, and torn from black Africa's strand I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Not me, surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all the dreams we've dreamed, and all the songs we've sung, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung, the millions who have nothing for our pay, except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain. From those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again, America. Oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me. And yet I swear this oath, America will be. Out of the rack and ruin of our gangster death, the rape and rot of graft and stealth and lies, we, the people, must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains and the endless plain, and all the stretch of these great green states, and make America again. Yeah, he's a pretty powerful writer.
I have a poem. Thank you.
Sure, go right ahead, Barry. Good.
This is James Hogg, The Skylark. Bird of the wilderness, blithesome and cumberless, sweet be thy matin o'er moorland and lea, emblem of happiness, blessed is thy dwelling place. Oh, to abide in the desert with thee! Wild is thy lay and loud, far in the downy cloud. Love gives it energy, love gave it birth. Where on thy dewy wing, where art thou journeying? Thy lay is in heaven, thy love is on earth. O'er fell and mountain fountain sheen, o'er moor and mountain green, o'er the red streamer that heralds the day, o'er the cloudlet dim, o'er the rainbow's rim. Music cherub soar, singing away. Then when the gloaming comes, low in the heather blooms, sweet will thy welcome and bed of love be. Emblem of happiness, blessed is thy dwelling place. Oh, to abide in the desert with thee. And when Joe and I were walking across England a number of years ago, we were up in the moorlands up above the valleys with the stone walls and the green pastures. But when you get higher up, you get in the moors. And that's where we saw and heard the skylark. They're just absolutely amazing. They rise up, they flutter, and they sing the most complicated song that you could imagine. They're just absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Barry. It's beautiful. I think it's about time to end unless somebody really needs to read something else. And that was a great...
I have a 2-sentence.
Oh, sure,
ending.
go right ahead.
Ready? From Mary Oliver. Humility. Poems arrive ready to begin. Poets are only the transportation.
Thank you. That was lovely. Oh, sorry, I was muted. We're now going to extinguish the chalice. Never has it been more true than now. We extinguish this flame, but the sparks within us remain alight. From each of us, in our supposed solitude. The signals buzz and hum, sparkling through space from one to another, connecting us invisibly, but palpably. We are one, and from every window, our light shines. May it be so. Okay, that's our service is complete, and we'd love it if you'd stay around and chat for a while. You can just unmute, and anyone who has anything to say, we can talk to each other.